That was the worst thing I have ever seen. 25th Amendment now. Donald Trump has been shut down by the Supreme Court, and now he is spiraling out of control. This was the thing he cared about most. Tariffs allowed for Donald Trump to carry out unlimited corruption, and now Congress can't save him, the court can't save him, and he's going crazy. That is what this press conference was. Donald Trump putting on display how much he has lost his mind, and Howard Lutnick just stood there like a hostage, panicked the entire time. Donald Trump was attacking reporters. He was bragging about, well, quite frankly, how great he can read, and we love to read, and just generally losing it. This was a meltdown. We have so much to get into, but it begins with Donald Trump making the admission we've known this whole time. He says he's allowed to destroy. Actually, I'll just let you watch.
Can't charge a dollar. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries. Certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little two-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything.
You want to destroy the country? You say you can destroy the country? Please don't destroy the country. We'd prefer if you didn't destroy this country. We know that that's what Donald Trump wants to do. Well, we know he wants to destroy the United States in a quest for unlimited profits for himself. We know he's happy to destroy our allies. Maybe don't. We'd prefer not. What a ridiculous admission to make right away. Quite frankly, I can destroy whoever else I want. This is a little side dish thought. It is so interesting how Donald Trump talks about the leverage of his tariffs when going after our allies. But when it comes to Russia, he still has no power and refuses to do anything, apparently, according to Donald Trump. I guess it's because, Putin maybe sent him a flower, like an edible arrangement, something like that. But he just kept on going with his anger towards America, which apparently he hates and wants to destroy, with an attack on Supreme Court justices.
The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people.
Donald Trump has so thoroughly packed the most corrupt court in American history and still complains it is the Democrats on the court, which there aren't Democrats. There's liberal-leaning justices appointed by Democrats. The only people who are openly Republican and say it and talk about how they want to just appease whatever Donald Trump wants are the conservatives on the court. And 30 of them voted to strike you down. What are you talking about? It is absolute lunacy that Donald Trump is attacking these justices like they're, waving a Biden flag and throwing a party with Barack Obama. I don't think that this message is going to land with anyone, especially when people hate the Supreme Court for the horrible decisions that it's made. It just doesn't make any sense for Donald Trump to be framing this court as something that is the liberals' heaven. And it makes sense for someone who is kind of openly talking about, or showing us at least, I should say, how stupid he is. So listen to Trump right here, bragging about how well he knows.
And might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Even more tariffs, actually. Those statutes include, think of that, those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232. All of these things I know so well. The Trade Act of 1974, Sections 122, 201, 301.
Has anyone ever sounded less competent, bragging about how smart they are? Well, quite frankly, I know the most, and I read, and I've read those, and it's trade. He's clearly reading this thing for the first time. He's like, and I wrote that probably because I'm great, and people love me, and they said it was me. Amazing. He just seems so out of touch with the thing that he's supposed to care about most. He is so out of touch with it. When Donald Trump was asked about the bipartisan pushback he was getting, he was just fighting with a reporter.
Been bipartisan criticism.
No, not bipartisan,
of the tariffs.
excuse me.
There's several
A few
Republicans
people.
have said that.
Yeah,
Well,
a
why
few
wouldn't
people.
you just work with Congress to come up with a plan?
I don't have to.
To push tariffs.
I have the
through?
right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs, and it's all been approved by Congress, so there's no reason to do it. All we're doing is we're going through a little bit more complicated process, not complicated very much, but a little more complicated than what we had. We'll be able to take in tariffs, more tariffs, and the Congress
The House
people
just
and the
voted down
Congress.
the Canadian tariffs last week.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
been votes
you
in the
know why?
Senate against it.
Yeah, because we lost 2 Republicans or 3 Republicans because they're not good Republicans. What you don't.
I also just have to point out that this entire time that Donald Trump was reading and fighting, Howard Lutnick, he's just standing there like a hostage. He hates this. This is terrible. It's not fun for Howard Lutnick. So Donald Trump, he's screaming at reporters. Lutnick, he's not loving it. And Trump doesn't seem to know what's happening with the tariffs. I think that's the ultimate conclusion here, that he just doesn't know. Of course, he is using them for maximum corruption, which could lead you to believe that there's someone else in the Trump family or in the Trump orbit profiting off of all of this, who also has an immense amount of power in the White House to decide who's getting tariffs. I know that Donald Trump, when he saw the little Canada commercial that made him poopy pants, he decided that he was launching tariffs against them. But for the profit incentive, strictly speaking, for the Trump family to make lots of money, there must be someone else in the White House who's helping orchestrate this, because Donald Trump's like, well, all Republicans love the tariffs. Oh, they voted against them? No, they didn't. And I didn't know that. And no. And they're not Republicans. It's like, what are you talking about? Mitch McConnell was psyched that the tariffs got struck down today. There is bipartisan opposition. You just lost a vote. He's clearly not aware of any of this. The only thing he can focus on is how much everyone loves him in the tariffs, apparently, including one man who wanted to give him a big old kiss.
This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man, but a very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. His father started it. And he said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? He said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week, and then you came in and imposed tariffs, and all of that foreign junk that they were dropping into our country stopped. And we're now going to double shifts, 7 days a week, and we may be very soon going to 24 hours around the clock, almost 7 days a week. He said, sir, I want to kiss you so badly.
Again, truly, just off the rails. This is a man who is not right in the head, and I truly cannot imagine any messaging opportunity being better for Democrats than this one, especially as Donald Trump is looking to potentially take all the money that he has made from his tariffs, taxing us, and it seems like do whatever he wants with it. This is maybe the most important story to come out of the tariff strike down from the Supreme Court. I want you to take a look at 2 clips of Donald Trump being asked about the refund, because I thought it was very telling for what I think is going to be the corruption that'll be carried out after. But listen to how he responds to a question from Peter Doocy about this refund, and then, of course, a black reporter who he attacks.
Thank you, President Trump. So, since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question. They take months and months to write an opinion, and they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And so I said, well, what happens to all the money that we took in? It wasn't discussed. Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? Yeah.
So specifically on the tariffs question, I mean on the $2,000.
I didn't call you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you have any plans to travel to India for the Quad Summit, and how do you think you...
Trump says to Doocy, wow, Peter, what a great question, and that's a good question, and I'm glad you asked it. And then to the black woman, he says, well, I don't want to hear from you. Why are you're not allowed to ask questions. So that's obvious. I think that this tariff revenue that Trump said was on the tariff shelf, I think that there's one thing that's going to happen with it. I think Trump's going to pocket it. I swear to God, I truly believe that Donald Trump will find a way to put this money in his pocket. He's sued and is suing the government for billions of dollars. He announced that we're giving $10 billion to the Board of Peace that has not been congressionally appropriated, a slush fund that he runs, by the way. I do not see a world in which Donald Trump doesn't see $175 billion plus and go, how can I get my grimy little goop-covered hands on this? How can I get my makeup all over this, my hand makeup all over this? Like, watch this space. I'm going to continue to report on it and cover it, but I think that there is some angle here where Trump just goes, well, if I can't do tariffs, I'm taking the money. Would that surprise anyone? Honestly, said, well, we can't decide what to do with it. We could either give it to greedy corporations that already jacked up prices on you, or return it to the people, use it to subsidize healthcare, any number of things. We can't decide, we're just going to give it to Trump. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. That is what he is ultimately after. The only thing Trump seems to know when it comes to tariffs is how it can make him money. That's it. Except the great literary mind that he is. He shared one other thing that I want to close with on how much he knows about the tariffs.
That what we did was, number one, according to, I read the paragraphs, I read very well, great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case. But we can when judges are political, when they want to be politically correct, when they're catering to a group of people in D.C. Maybe. I don't know what it is, because when you read it, there's no other interpretation. There is no other interpretation. But it's okay, because what has come out, and I'll say it for the third time and maybe the last time in a while, is that we've taken the uncertainty of tariffs out, because we had uncertainty. We got sued by sleazebags, I know them well, that are very outside country, China-centric, but outside country-centric. And they're going to end up not doing as well as they did before. America was...
I'm such a great reader. People have remarked upon it. God, he's such a moron. I can't even. This was the worst thing I ever saw. I can't do any more of it. Oh, God, but we're going to continue to cover it all. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, I don't know how you did. Drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.